Have you ever wondered why some women seem different? Calm under pressure, sharper in their decisions, and impossible to manipulate. Their strength is not always loud. Sometimes it hides in the smallest habits they practice every day. Today I will reveal 10 strange habits of highly intelligent women that separate them from the crowd and transform their mind, confidence, and inner power. 1. They protect their silence because they know the power of observation. Many people believe that intelligence is measured by how much a person can say. They admire the person who always has an answer, the person who speaks quickly, the person who tries to prove that they are the smartest person in the room. But true intelligence does not always appear through words. Sometimes the deepest intelligence appears through silence. A highly intelligent woman understands something that many people spend years trying to learn. Not every thought needs to become a sentence. Not every feeling needs to become a reaction. Not every situation deserves her energy. Silence, when used with awareness, is not weakness. Silence is control. It is the ability to pause before responding. It is the ability to observe before judging. It is the ability to understand what is happening beneath the surface instead of being trapped by what is happening in the moment. Many people live their lives reacting. Someone says something hurtful, and they immediately respond. Someone criticizes them, and they immediately defend themselves. Someone misunderstands them, and they immediately try to explain. But an intelligent woman learns a different way. She creates space between what happens and how she responds. Inside that small space is where her power exists. Because when emotions are high, clarity becomes low. A person who reacts immediately often gives away their power to the situation. They allow another person's words, behavior, or opinion to control their inner state. But the woman who can remain calm, observe, and choose her response is no longer controlled by the outside world. She becomes the master of herself. Think about a quiet lake. When the water is disturbed, you cannot see clearly. The reflection disappears. But when the water becomes still, everything becomes visible. The same is true with the human mind. When the mind is constantly filled with noise, anger, fear, and the need to prove something, it becomes difficult to see the truth. But when the mind becomes quiet, understanding appears. Highly intelligent women develop this quietness. They do not rush to reveal everything they know. They do not announce every plan. They do not explain every decision. They understand that some things grow stronger when protected by silence. A seed does not become a tree because everyone watches it. It grows quietly beneath the soil. In the same way, a woman's confidence, wisdom, and personal growth do not need constant approval from others. She allows her actions to speak. This is one of the reasons intelligent women sometimes appear mysterious. People may wonder, why doesn't she argue? Why doesn't she try to convince everyone? Why doesn't she respond to every criticism? The answer is simple. Because she understands the value of her energy. She knows that attention is a form of energy. Every argument takes energy. Every unnecessary explanation takes energy. Every attempt to make someone understand who refuses to understand takes energy. And a wise woman becomes careful about where she invests that energy. She asks herself, does this conversation create growth? Does this person truly want understanding? Will my response create peace, or will it create more conflict? These questions separate wisdom from impulse. A person with a trained mind does not fight every battle. A person with a trained mind chooses battles that are meaningful. This does not mean intelligent women never speak. It does not mean they accept disrespect. Silence is not about allowing others to harm you. Silence is about choosing the right moment, the right words, and the right action. Sometimes the strongest response is a calm conversation. Sometimes the strongest response is walking away. Sometimes the strongest response is simply refusing to become like the person who is trying to disturb your peace. A highly intelligent woman understands that losing control of herself is the greatest loss. Because when someone can make you angry whenever they want, they have power over you. When someone can destroy your confidence with a few words, they have power over you. But when you can remain centered, even when the world around you is unstable, You become difficult to control. This is not just emotional strength. This is mental discipline. In martial arts, the strongest person is not always the person who attacks first. The strongest person is often the person who has complete control over their movement, their timing, and their energy. Life is the same. Your words are your movements. Your reactions are your movements. Your choices are your movements. A disciplined mind does not move without purpose. A highly intelligent woman understands this principle. She listens more deeply. She notices small details. She observes patterns in people's behavior. Because when you stop rushing to speak, you begin to see what others miss. You notice how someone treats people who cannot benefit them. You notice whether someone's actions match their words. You notice whether someone brings peace or confusion into your life. Many people are fooled because they only listen to what others say, but intelligent women observe what people consistently do. Words can create an image. Actions reveal reality. This is why silence becomes a powerful tool. It allows her to gather information. It allows her to understand people without being influenced by temporary emotions. She does not judge someone based on one moment. She watches patterns because character is not revealed in one conversation. Character is revealed through repeated behavior. A person may say they respect you, but do they respect your boundaries? A person may say they care about you, but do their actions show consideration? A person may say they support you, but are they happy when you grow? The silent observer sees these things. She does not need to rush. She allows time to reveal truth. This is a habit of intelligent women. They do not chase every answer immediately. They understand that patience is also a form of intelligence. The world today teaches people to react quickly, respond quickly, judge quickly, decide quickly. But wisdom often moves differently. Wisdom observes, wisdom understands, wisdom waits until the picture becomes clear. A highly intelligent woman does not fear silence because she is comfortable with herself. Many people avoid silence because silence forces them to meet their own thoughts. They constantly need noise. They constantly need attention. They constantly need someone else to confirm their value. But an intelligent woman develops a relationship with her own mind. She can sit alone. She can think deeply. She can reflect. She can question herself. And through this process, she becomes stronger because the person who understands herself cannot easily be manipulated by others. Self-awareness is the foundation of intelligence. Before you understand the world, you must understand your own mind. Before you understand others, you must understand your own emotions. Before you find peace outside, you must create peace inside. This is why silence is not empty. Silence is where awareness grows. And when a woman learns to observe before reacting, she develops another powerful ability, the ability to see beyond what everyone else accepts. Because the quiet mind begins to ask deeper questions. And the woman who learns to question deeply discovers a different level of intelligence. 2, they question everything instead of accepting what everyone believes. A highly intelligent woman does not simply accept something because everyone accepts it. She does not follow a path only because it is popular. She does not believe something only because it has been repeated many times. She understands a powerful truth. What is common is not always correct. What is popular is not always wise. The ability to question is one of the greatest signs of intelligence. A person who never questions is simply collecting information, but a person who questions is developing understanding. There is a difference. Many people live according to invisible rules created by society. They think this is how everyone does it. This is what people expect. This is what I should believe. But an intelligent woman pauses and asks why. Why do I believe this? Why am I following this path? Why am I allowing this person's opinion to define my choices? Why am I afraid to change something that no longer serves me? These questions are not signs of confusion. They are signs of awareness. A trained mind does not fear questions. It welcomes them because every meaningful transformation begins with a question. Before someone changes their life, they first question their current life. Before someone develops confidence, they question the beliefs that created insecurity. Before someone creates freedom, They question the habits that created limitation. A highly intelligent woman understands that many limitations are not created by reality. They are created by beliefs. Someone may believe I am not capable. I am too old to begin again. I need everyone to approve of me. I must keep everyone happy. But an intelligent woman examines these thoughts. She asks, is this actually true, or is this simply something I learned from fear? This ability to examine her own thoughts makes her powerful, because the mind can either become a prison or become a place of growth. The difference is awareness. A person who never questions their thoughts becomes controlled by them, but a person who examines their thoughts becomes the creator of their life. This is why intelligent women are often misunderstood. When everyone follows emotion, they follow understanding. When everyone follows tradition, they search for truth. When everyone follows appearance, they look deeper. They are not trying to be different. They are trying to be honest. And honesty requires courage, because sometimes the truth requires you to leave behind ideas that once protected you. It requires you to admit, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I need to grow. Maybe the way I have always done things is not the best way anymore. A weak mind protects old beliefs because it fears change. A strong mind examines beliefs because it values truth more than comfort. This is the difference between being intelligent and simply being informed. Information tells you what exists. Wisdom teaches you what matters. A highly intelligent woman searches for what matters. She does not fill her mind with endless noise. She chooses knowledge carefully. She learns from experience. She learns from mistakes. She learns from people, but she does not surrender her judgment. She listens, but she thinks. She receives advice, but she reflects. She respects others, but she does not abandon herself. This balance creates true wisdom. And when a woman develops this habit of questioning, something changes inside her. She becomes harder to manipulate. She becomes harder to deceive. She becomes more aware of her own direction. Because the person who questions deeply cannot easily be led blindly. She does not simply ask, what should I do? She asks, why should I do this? And that one question can change the entire quality of a person's life. Because the highest level of intelligence is not knowing everything. It is having the humility and courage to continue searching for truth. A woman who protects her silence learns to observe the world. A woman who questions everything learns to understand the world. And when observation combines with deep thinking, the mind enters a new level of awareness where she no longer lives by accident, but begins to live with intention. 3, they spend time alone to strengthen their mind and inner awareness. Many people fear being alone. They immediately search for something to fill the space. They turn on the noise. They check their phones. They look for conversations, distractions, and constant entertainment. Why? Because silence reveals what is happening inside. When everything around you becomes quiet, you begin to hear your own thoughts. You begin to notice your own emotions. You begin to see the parts of yourself that you normally avoid. And this is exactly why highly intelligent women do not run away from solitude. They understand that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness is the feeling of being disconnected. Solitude is the choice to reconnect with yourself. There is a great difference. A woman who fears solitude often depends on the outside world to tell her who she is. She needs constant approval. She needs constant attention. She needs others to confirm that she is valuable. But a woman who has developed inner awareness discovers something powerful. Her worth does not come from how many people notice her. Her worth does not come from how many people praise her. Her worth does not come from how many people choose her. Her worth comes from the relationship she builds with herself. This is why intelligent women protect time for themselves. Not because they dislike people, not because they think they are better than others, but because they understand that the mind needs space to grow. A tree cannot grow if every moment it is being moved. The roots need stillness. The same is true for the human mind. A person who never stops moving may achieve many things, but they may never understand themselves. And without understanding yourself, even success can feel empty. A highly intelligent woman takes moments to reflect. She asks herself, What am I learning from my experiences? What patterns keep repeating in my life? What thoughts are helping me grow, and what thoughts are holding me back? These questions create awareness, and awareness is the beginning of transformation. Many people spend years trying to change their external life while ignoring their internal world. They change their appearance. They change their environment. They change their relationships, but they never change the way they think. A wise woman understands that the greatest changes begin inside. The outer world is often a reflection of the inner world. If the mind is filled with confusion, life feels confusing. If the mind is filled with fear, every challenge feels like a threat. If the mind is filled with insecurity, even kindness from others can feel suspicious. But when the mind becomes calm and clear, the same world appears differently. The situation may not change, but the person experiencing it has changed. This is the power of inner training. In the practice of self-mastery, the first person you must learn to understand is yourself. Before controlling circumstances, learn to control your attention. Before trying to understand others, learn to understand your own emotions. Before searching for peace outside, learn how to create peace inside. This is why intelligent women often enjoy activities that allow reflection. Reading, walking alone, writing their thoughts, learning something new, sitting quietly. These moments may appear simple, but they create something very valuable. They create a stronger connection with the self. A person who knows themselves deeply is not easily influenced. They know their values. They know their boundaries. They know what they accept and what they refuse. They do not change themselves every time someone has a different opinion. They can listen without losing themselves. They can love without abandoning themselves. They can care for others without forgetting their own needs. This is a rare strength because many people confuse connection with dependence. They believe loving someone means needing someone. But intelligent women understand that the healthiest relationships come from two complete individuals choosing to walk together, not two incomplete people trying to use each other to fill an empty space. A woman who is comfortable alone does not enter relationships from desperation. She enters from choice, and there is a great difference. When you choose someone because you need them to complete you, you give away your power. But when you choose someone because you already know yourself and want to share your journey, you create a relationship built on strength. This is why solitude can transform a woman. It removes the fear of being abandoned. It removes the desperate need to be accepted. It creates emotional independence. And emotional independence is one of the strongest forms of freedom. A highly intelligent woman understands that people can leave. Situations can change. Opinions can shift. But the relationship she has with herself is the one relationship she carries everywhere. This does not mean she becomes cold. It does not mean she stops caring. Actually, the opposite happens. When a person understands themselves, they can love others with more patience and compassion because they are not constantly asking others to repair their insecurities. They are able to give from abundance instead of emptiness. Think about a candle. A candle that has no flame cannot give light to anyone. First, it must be burning itself. The same is true with human beings. Before you can bring peace to others, you must develop peace within yourself. Before you can inspire confidence in others, you must build confidence within yourself. Before you can guide others, you must learn how to guide yourself. This is why intelligent women value solitude. They know that some of the greatest conversations they will ever have are the conversations inside their own mind. But there is another level of intelligence that comes after understanding yourself. Because knowing yourself is important, but mastering yourself is even greater. And this is where another powerful habit begins. The ability to control your emotions instead of becoming controlled by them. Because the strongest mind is not the mind that never feels. It is the mind that feels deeply but remains balanced. 4, they control their emotions instead of letting emotions control them. A highly intelligent woman does not try to remove emotions from her life. She understands that emotions are part of being human. Anger, sadness, fear, excitement, disappointment, love, all emotions carry information. They are signals. They tell us something about ourselves, our needs, and our experiences. But intelligent women understand one important principle. An emotion is a message, not a command. Just because you feel something does not mean you must immediately act on it. This is where emotional intelligence begins. Many people allow temporary emotions to create permanent consequences. They say words they cannot take back. They make decisions they later regret. They destroy relationships because of a moment of anger. They give up on dreams because of a moment of fear. But a wise woman learns to create distance between feeling and action. She feels the emotion, she observes the emotion, then she chooses her response. This small pause changes everything. Imagine someone throws a stone into a lake. The water immediately creates waves, but the lake does not become the wave. The wave appears, moves, and eventually disappears. Human emotions are similar. An emotion can appear strongly. It can feel overwhelming, but it does not have to define you. You are the person observing the emotion. You are not the emotion itself. This understanding gives a woman tremendous inner strength because people who cannot control their emotions are easily controlled by others. Someone knows exactly what to say to make them angry. Someone knows exactly what to do to create insecurity. Someone knows exactly how to push their buttons, but an emotionally intelligent woman becomes aware of her triggers. She asks, why did this affect me so strongly? What is this emotion trying to show me? Am I responding to reality or am I responding to an old wound? These questions create wisdom because sometimes the strongest reaction is not about the current situation. Sometimes it is connected to something from the past. An intelligent woman learns to separate the two. She does not allow yesterday's pain to control today's choices. This is a form of freedom. Many people carry old experiences everywhere they go. Someone hurt them years ago, and they continue living as if that moment is still happening. Someone disappointed them once, and they close their heart forever. Someone rejected them once, and they begin believing they are not enough. But a trained mind understands. A painful experience is something that happened to you. It is not who you are. Your past can teach you, but it does not have to control you. This is emotional mastery. It is the ability to learn from life without becoming trapped by life. A highly intelligent woman also understands that not every emotion requires expression. Society often teaches people, say everything you feel, release everything immediately, show. But wisdom teaches balance. Not every feeling needs to be announced. Not every frustration needs to become a conversation. Not every disagreement needs to become a battle. Sometimes strength is knowing when to speak. Sometimes strength is knowing when to remain calm. A person with emotional control does not suppress emotions. Suppression means pushing feelings away and pretending they do not exist. Control means understanding feelings and choosing wisely. There is a difference. A woman who suppresses her anger may eventually explode. A woman who understands her anger can transform it into clarity. She can say this behavior is not acceptable. I need to create a boundary. I need to step away from this situation. Her power does not come from being silent. Her power comes from being conscious. This is why emotional intelligence is often more valuable than intelligence alone. A person can be highly educated and still make destructive decisions because they cannot manage themselves. Knowledge without self-control can become dangerous. But knowledge combined with emotional discipline becomes wisdom. A highly intelligent woman trains herself to remain steady during difficult moments. When others panic, she looks for solutions. When others react, she observes. When others lose direction, she returns to her values. This does not happen overnight. It is a practice. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen the mind. Every difficult person becomes an opportunity to practice patience. Every disappointment becomes an opportunity to develop resilience. Life becomes the training ground. The goal is not to create a life where nothing challenges you. The goal is to become someone who can handle challenges without losing yourself. Because storms do not create strong trees. They reveal the strength that was already built inside. And the same is true for people. Difficult moments reveal your training. They reveal your awareness. They reveal whether you are controlled by the outside world or guided by your inner foundation. A highly intelligent woman understands that her greatest power is not controlling other people. It is controlling herself. Because when you master yourself, you stop searching for power outside. You become calm in uncertainty. You become steady in difficulty. You become confident without needing to prove yourself. And when a woman learns to observe, question, spend time with herself, and master her emotions, she begins to walk differently through life. But there is another quality that separates truly intelligent women from the crowd: the courage to stand alone when the world tells them to follow. 5. They are comfortable being different and walking their own path. One of the greatest signs of an intelligent woman is not that she knows how to follow, it is that she knows when not to follow. Many people spend their entire lives trying to fit into a shape created by others. They change their opinions because people around them disagree. They hide their dreams because others may judge them. They choose a path because it looks acceptable, not because it feels meaningful. But a highly intelligent woman understands something important. A person who constantly tries to be accepted by everyone will eventually lose connection with themselves. The desire to belong is natural. Every human being wants to feel accepted. Every person wants to feel understood. But wisdom begins when you realize that belonging should never require you to betray who you are. A tree does not apologize for growing differently from another tree. A mountain does not change its shape because another mountain looks different. Nature teaches us a powerful lesson. Everything has its own path. Everything grows according to its own purpose. And human beings are the same. A highly intelligent woman does not compare her journey with everyone else. She understands that comparison creates unnecessary suffering. Someone may achieve success earlier. Someone may have a different lifestyle. Someone may make different choices. But their path is not her path. The moon does not compete with the sun. The ocean does not compete with the mountains. Each has its own role. Each has its own beauty. This understanding creates freedom, because when you stop trying to become someone else, you finally have the energy to develop yourself. Many people do not fail because they lack ability. They fail because they spend too much energy trying to impress people who are not walking their journey. They spend their time proving they are successful, proving they are attractive, proving they are intelligent, proving they are worthy. But an intelligent woman learns a different way. She does not build her life as a performance for others. She builds her life based on her values. She asks herself, does this choice bring me closer to the person I want to become? Does this environment help me grow? Am I doing this because it is meaningful or because I am afraid of judgment? These questions require courage because sometimes the right path is the unpopular path. Sometimes growth requires leaving behind what is familiar. Sometimes becoming stronger requires disappointing people who only liked the old version of you. This is a difficult lesson because many people are comfortable with your potential only until it changes your position in their life. They may support you when you are the same, but when you begin growing, setting boundaries and choosing yourself, some people may become uncomfortable. A highly intelligent woman understands this. She does not hate them. She does not need revenge. She simply understands that growth changes relationships. A seed must break open before it becomes a plant. From the outside, breaking looks like destruction, but inside transformation is happening. The same happens with people. Sometimes becoming your true self requires breaking old patterns. The habit of seeking approval. The habit of saying yes when you want to say no. The habit of shrinking yourself so others feel comfortable. An intelligent woman learns that her purpose is not to make herself smaller. Her purpose is to become more complete. This does not mean becoming arrogant. There is a difference between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance says I am better than others. Confidence says I know my value and I respect the value of others. A wise woman does not need to stand above people. She simply refuses to stand beneath them. She walks with dignity. She respects herself. She respects others, but she does not surrender her identity. This is why intelligent women sometimes appear unusual. They may not follow every trend. They may not seek constant attention. They may not make decisions based on what receives the most approval. Their focus is deeper. They are not asking, how can I make everyone like me? They are asking, how can I become someone I respect? This question changes everything because the relationship you have with yourself becomes the foundation of every other relationship. If you constantly abandon yourself to please others, you teach yourself that your needs do not matter. But when you honor your values, you teach yourself that your life has meaning. A highly intelligent woman also understands that being different is often where innovation begins. Every great idea was once different. Every great achievement was once considered impossible. Every person who created change had a moment where they stood apart from the crowd. The crowd often protects comfort. The individual often creates growth. This does not mean every person who is different is wise. Difference alone is not intelligence. The important question is, are you different because you are seeking attention, or are you different because you are following truth? A wise woman does not reject society simply to appear unique. She thinks deeply. She chooses carefully. She creates her own direction because she understands herself. Her uniqueness comes from awareness, not rebellion. She does not walk alone because she dislikes people. She walks her own path because she has learned to trust herself. And self-trust is one of the strongest forms of confidence. Many people search for confidence by collecting outside approval. They want compliments. They want recognition. They want others to tell them they are enough. But external approval is temporary. Today, people may praise you. Tomorrow, they may criticize you. If your confidence depends on their opinion, your confidence will always be unstable. But when confidence comes from self-standing, it becomes stronger. A highly intelligent woman builds confidence through keeping promises to herself. She says she will learn something, and she learns. She says she will take care of herself, and she does. She says she will create boundaries, and she respects them. Every small act of self-discipline becomes evidence that she can trust herself. And when you trust yourself, you no longer need everyone else to understand your choices. You can accept disagreement without losing peace. You can receive criticism without losing confidence. You can walk through uncertainty without losing direction. This is the quiet strength of a woman who has chosen her own path. She is not controlled by applause. She is not destroyed by rejection. She knows who she is. But knowing yourself is only the beginning, because a truly intelligent woman does not stop at accepting herself. She continues developing herself. She understands that the mind is like a garden. Whatever you repeatedly plant will eventually grow. And this leads to another powerful habit that keeps intelligent women constantly evolving. 6, they continuously train their mind through learning, reflection, and self-discipline. A highly intelligent woman understands that intelligence is not something you simply receive. It is something you continue developing. The mind is not a finished product. It is a living process. Every experience teaches something. Every mistake carries a lesson. Every challenge provides an opportunity to become stronger. This is why intelligent women never believe they have learned enough. They remain students of life. They stay curious. They stay open. They continue growing. Many people stop learning when they leave school. They believe education ends when a certificate is received. But wisdom understands something deeper. School may teach information. Life teaches understanding. A person can collect many facts and still lack wisdom. But a person who continues learning develops a deeper relationship with the world. A highly intelligent woman reads, she listens, she observes, she studies people, she studies herself. She searches for knowledge not to appear superior, but because she understands that growth creates freedom. The more you understand, the more choices you have. Ignorance creates limitation. Awareness creates possibility. This is why the mind requires training. Just like the body becomes stronger through exercise, the mind becomes stronger through discipline. A person who never challenges their thoughts becomes mentally weak. A person who constantly questions, learns, and reflects becomes mentally flexible. They can adapt. They can solve problems. They can see situations from different perspectives. This is a powerful advantage in life because life does not always give us easy situations. There will be unexpected changes. There will be disappointments. There will be moments when old methods no longer work. The person who continues learning can adjust. The person who refuses to grow becomes trapped. A highly intelligent woman understands that every day is an opportunity to improve, not perfectly, not dramatically, but consistently. She does not chase quick transformation. She values steady progress. A small improvement repeated every day creates a completely different person over time. One page read every day becomes many books. One healthy choice repeated becomes a lifestyle. One moment of self-control repeated becomes emotional strength. Small actions create powerful results. This is why discipline is such an important quality. Motivation comes and goes, feelings change, energy levels rise and fall. But discipline creates consistency. A wise woman does not depend only on how she feels. She understands commitment. She understands that the person she wants to become requires action, even on difficult days. This does not mean being harsh toward herself. It means respecting her future. She asks, what decision today will help the person I want to become tomorrow? This mindset creates maturity because many people sacrifice their future for temporary comfort. They choose what feels easy now and suffer later. But an intelligent woman learns delayed satisfaction. She understands that some things require patience. A strong body requires training. A strong mind requires training. A meaningful life requires training. Nothing valuable is created without effort. This is one of the hidden habits of intelligent women. They are constantly refining themselves. They improve their communication. They improve their emotional awareness. They improve their skills. They improve their understanding. They do not compete with everyone else. They compete with their previous self. Yesterday's version of themselves is the person they are trying to overcome. This creates a healthier form of ambition, not the ambition of proving, the ambition of becoming, because there is a difference. Proving says I need others to see my value. Becoming says I am committed to discovering my potential. The first depends on others. The second depends on yourself. A highly intelligent woman chooses becoming. She knows that life is not about reaching a point where you no longer need growth. Growth itself is the journey. A river remains alive because it continues moving. When water stops moving, it becomes stagnant. The same can happen to the human mind. A mind that stops learning becomes limited. A mind that continues exploring remains alive. This is why intelligent women protect their curiosity. They ask questions. They seek understanding. They remain humble enough to say, I do not know yet. Those 3 words are powerful because only a person who admits they do not know can begin learning. The ego wants to appear complete. Wisdom accepts that there is always more to discover. And this humility is what keeps intelligent women evolving. They become stronger not because they believe they know everything. They become stronger because they never stop growing. A woman who protects her silence learns awareness. A woman who questions develops understanding. A woman who enjoys solitude develops self-connection. A woman who controls emotions develops inner strength. A woman who walks her own path develops confidence. And a woman who trains her mind continuously develops wisdom that no one can take away. Because the greatest investment you can ever make is the one you make in yourself.